Hello, welcome to Illuminations with Tiina and Fi. I'm Fi.
I'm Tiina.
Hello, Tiina.
Hello.
And we're now on our second episode in the series of beliefs. And the last episode, we explored beliefs, we explored how they're formed, and we examined kind of our own journey around discovering the impact of beliefs and got to the nitty-gritty of, beliefs and thoughts are not facts and are designed really by us filtering information to actually meet the belief that we have ingrained inside through the neural pathway. And we examined the role and the impact of that in how we actually function every day, relating to things like internal dialogue. So in this episode, we're going to carry on our discussion and our exploration around beliefs. And obviously the next place to go for us is to explore the area of limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs, whatever language we like to use. So Tiina, thoughts around limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs?
I'm going to totally ignore your question.
Okay.
Well, actually, it does eventually relate to it. I'll come back to it. I think last time when we talked, we might have put a lot of emphasis on beliefs forming in our younger years. That's where they're formed. That all of them might be negative or limit, as we call limiting. But that's of course not true. I mean, we form good beliefs that help us in life as well, which we will then call empowering beliefs. So, we have both of them in our bag. And I think the reason we talk more about the limiting beliefs, the ones that are not so helpful in our life, is because the empowering ones, they're great. We don't have to do that much about them. Whereas the limiting ones are the ones holding us back. So I guess the magic, if you like, is kind of going, okay, how do I go from limiting beliefs to empowering ones? And because the limiting beliefs are holding us back, whether or not we realize it. So I guess the first thing to do is what we talked about last time, is actually understanding what those limiting beliefs are. And what kind of beliefs would you like to have instead to help you along your way? I don't know. Should we take an example here? What do you think?
I think it might be good for you to talk about maybe what you've discovered as a limiting belief for you. Is that what you mean?
No, I was kind of hoping that you would come up with an example from your life.
Okay, I'll go there.
Do you want to go there?
What was your intention for the illuminations? Okay, so yes, I was thinking, so for example, I've been growing the business over the last how many years, and really, we're talking, as 12-hour days, how many days a week, not a sob story, but that is another bit. I'm going to get to that one.
Okay.
And what happened last year was that it wasn't quite happening, and it's really interesting. And also linked into this is the fact that I got some inheritance, and I wasn't always very comfortable with that. And my spending is interesting around money anyway. So last year I started to look at, with you and with a whole load of other people doing different therapies, and I was very lucky because a lot of people were practicing and shared. And there's another interesting, it's when you know about beliefs, it's really complicated to even have a conversation because they're so full of beliefs. And so what I discovered was I definitely had a belief around money. There was something going on around money, and this is quite a tricky one because I have to show up very authentically without hopefully causing offense. So what happened was, in my family, I realized there is a culture where they like us. We like to earn money. We're all, you know, first generation Irish. All of us have worked very hard, which is a belief I'm going to come to. And, you know, all worked hard, all, you know, done good. And there is something around the belief that you can earn enough, but if you earn too much or have too much money, then it's not really accepted or admired, or it can actually cause quite a lot of negative talk. Observation could be my belief.
Okay.
So this I worked through quite a lot, and, you know, highlighted. And so what it was doing was dumbing down my success, because I knew that when the business gradually started to go, I knew it had all the ingredients to be a successful business. But there was something around this fear of success, of maybe even earning too much, that would get in the way. So I've worked on changing that belief, and I'm lucky because I've had people like you nudging me and challenging me about even me working out which clients have paid. You know, I can even put that on the back burner and not prioritize that and think, oh, I'm too busy. But actually it's still coming from the belief that, you know, am I worth the money they want to pay, but also how successful, you know, can I allow myself to be? Does that make sense?
It does make sense. And I guess then it becomes the tugging game. You know, I want my business to grow, but then I've got this belief that if this happens, I might be judged by certain people, and it's not good to have too much money or too much sex, whatever it is, you know. And then it's a tugging game, kind of. Yeah, but no, and then you don't get anywhere, and you kind of go, why is my business not growing?
And more to the point, why am I exhausted?
Oh, absolutely. Because it takes so much energy. Oh my God.
All that resistance is, you know, and living with the conversations that go on in my head around all that.
And can I just ask a question here quickly?
Of course.
Do you think that sometimes, while it doesn't help you, when you're not aware of that belief, you're still held back by it, right? That kind of happens. It holds you back. But when you don't know about it, at least you're not exhausted by it. Because once you're aware,
that's very true.
Once you're aware, you kind of go, well, I know this. Why am I still doing it?
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, that in-between stage before you crack it, before you come to the other side, I'm sorry to say, but that's a shitty place to be sometimes. It's a wonderful place to be because you're enlightened in that, that knowledge. But also it's the, really, are you still going to be saying that? We've talked about this. Come on, let it go.
And this is based in the old neuroscience again, because, you know, what we know is, you know, we used to think that we could just replace an empowering belief, a limiting belief with an empowering belief. And, you know, there are methodologies that shift, you know, modalities that do shift stuff. But we know through neuroscience that neural pathway, it does eventually die and wither, but it only dies and withers if it's not used. And under stress, we often will resort back to the old belief, the old neural pathway. It's just very natural.
Yeah, and so, I guess because it's also it's so familiar, it's kind of almost, you know, it doesn't benefit you, but there's some comfort in going into that thought and that belief and living it because, well, quite frankly, it's me, you know. And it's like, well, it's not, but you know.
Well, it's actually what's really important, and we didn't talk about this last time, and it crossed my mind as I was thinking about the episode, is that what we've got to remember is that what our brain wants is habit and consistency. It actually doesn't really care if it's causing us trauma. That's all that part of the brain wants, and it's very powerful, that part of the brain. So that's also kind of what's driving it. So I know it doesn't seem to make sense to us because that's our logical bit going on the top, but actually that part of the brain just wants it to be consistent. It wants everything. All it's doing is all the time is looking us to be safe. And if that thought is a thought that's consistent, it's safe for the brain.
Yeah.
And so
Sorry.
No.
I'm interrupting it. I don't usually interrupt. And this episode, I'm like,
there's a belief.
Well, I don't actually usually interrupt. That's
a generalization.
That's a fact.
Exactly.
It's the truth.
Yeah.
No.
I hope you're all I did actually I have coached Tiina on and off. You can see the fun I have. Go on, what were you going to say?
I'm delightful to coach.
You're lit up today, so come on, what was that pearl you were going to throw in there?
I have no idea. I forgot. Oh, yes. No, yes. Now I remember. Let me gather my thoughts. Yeah, you said, the habit and the safety of that habit. But also our brain is doing what it thinks that we want it to do.
Yeah.
So if we for 30 years have told our brain something, it thinks, well, come on, you've told me that this is what you want.
Yeah.
Don't come and tell me something else now. For 30 years you've been telling me this, I am going to go this way because habit, familiarity and all that.
Yeah.
You kind of actively need to start telling it something else.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, the good news is that it can, and that's why that people talk about 30 days. Well, we know in reality now, I think it takes about 86.2 for, a thought to become a habit. But you can see why, because what you want to work on, and I think this is the key message, is it's about being active. What you work on is catching a thought and changing it, because it will do screaming abdabs, and we'll look at that next time. It will do absolutely, I say to my clients, it's like if you're used to going around in jeans and sneakers and sweatpants and sweatshirts, it's like me putting you in a pair of high heels, a tight skirt and a little skimpy top and saying walk down the road like that. It is so alien. And of course what people do is they kind of get uncomfortable about that and then go, oh, I'll just stick to the old belief. And actually you have to, that's why you're right, it is discomfort. You have to go through the discomfort of that vulnerability of a whole different way of being, and the brain freaking out because it will not be happy that you're not doing the old belief, as you say, because it's like a little puppy dog. It just wants to keep us happy and obey us, and what we're doing is going, right, we're moving the goalpost. So you're right. So it is discomfort.
And I think this is also something that we haven't really got into. That's a really important piece of the jigsaw, is that obviously we've got a conscious mind and then we've got a subconscious mind. And the more research that has been done over the years, we used to think that our conscious mind is 95% and the subconscious was 5%. Well, actually today it's like conscious mind is 5% and the subconscious is 95%. So the conscious mind is thinks it's the boss because it makes that kind of rational or creative decisions, but it's actually the subconscious mind that rules the house. Not that the subconscious wants to rule the house, but just does, because that's where all your beliefs are sat. So with your conscious mind, you can kind of go, I am now going to have a successful business, blah 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 blah, and then your subconscious mind going, I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable, nobody wants me as a coach or whatever that business is, and guess who's going to win? Well,
because we go back to what you said in the first episode, you then start, and we'll look at this next time, it's changing everything, language, physiology. But if you keep allowing if you keep allowing the physiology and the words you say out of your mouth, and we'll come to that, how powerful language is, that's what everybody else will hear and see. So would you go and see someone who actually walks around with body language and words that are going, I'm a crack coach, you don't really want to work with me?
No, of course. No, but absolutely. And that's why beliefs are so crucial in the whole process.
We're on time.
It's starting to be time.
Oh yes,
to
definitely is.
Wrap up this episode.
Yes.
Last time you had a question the tip of your tongue that almost came out, but then you changed your mind. You said it's for the next one. Is it time for that one now?
I'm just thinking, have we talked enough about it? I think we have. So it would be interesting now. Last time you were observing others, this time it's to observe yourself. And it's to observe the internal dialogue that you have with yourself. So start to notice, you know, what kinds of, you know, sentences, phrases are in there. Notice the curiosity. Only with curiosity and humour. Absolutely, Tiina, love that. Curiosity and humour. What is going on in there? Just notice patterns. Yeah, and we'll come to next time what you do with that. But yeah, notice any internal dialogue that's going on that you kind of think, okay, this is around beliefs. Just notice.
And I think at this point, humor is really something to keep with you.
Yeah, not judgment.
Because those things that we say to ourselves can be pretty mean. We wouldn't say those things to other people. So it's like,
no, we'll talk about
okay, there you are again. You know, just don't beat yourself up about it, really.
Loving kindness, definitely. Loving kindness. So thank you, Tiina.
Thank you.
And if you've enjoyed this episode, then please subscribe and please share with others and leave a comment. Can you answer the question? Can you share some thoughts around your internal dialogue? Thank you very much. Thanks, Tiina.
See you next time.
Bye now.